welcome to Saucy Cat. My name's Zoe, and stuffed pastas are always a blast. There's so many shapes and styles, and the fillings are endless, and sauces too many to count. Well, let's add our first stuffed pasta to Saucy Cat's menu with some vegan garlic thyme tortellini. Let's get into it. Let's get our filling out of the way before we get to the fun stuff. I'm thinking a homemade vegan ricotta style cheese. In a food processor, add softened cashews. You can soften them up by first soaking them in water for 10 minutes. Then add a block of extra firm tofu. The tofu is the base, but the cashews help give it a more ricotta-like texture. Now add in some lemon juice and some nutritional yeast. That's the basics for a vegan ricotta, but let's take it a step further with some salt, pepper, and fresh garlic. Now process that on high, pausing occasionally to scrape down the sides until you have a smooth, chunk-free ricotta. Now let's move on to our pasta. Last week I showed you how to make classic Italian pasta dough completely from scratch, so let's start there. Once we have a long, smooth dough sheet, we can begin to cut out circles for our tortellini. A cookie cutter would probably work best, but hey, you work with what you got, and for me, that's a toxic waste barrel. You want a circle that's only about 2.5 to 3 inches long. Don't worry about that extra dough, simply roll it back up, flatten it out, pass it through the machine again, and boom, more dough for more pasta. Alright, we got all these tiny circles now, so let's fill them up. Place about a teaspoon of filling into the center of each circle. Then lightly dab the edges of the circle with water before gently folding the circle in half over the filling. Press the edges together so it is completely sealed. Now to get that classic tortellini shape, grab the two corners and tug them together. The pasta should actively curl as you pull and give you this cute little bonnet hat basket thing. Press the corners together so it doesn't open back up, and voila! Lay the pasta single file on a flour-dusted baking sheet as you finish folding the rest. Do not let them rest on top of each other. Trust me, it won't end well. We'll only be using about 1/3 of this batch today, so store the rest in the fridge or freezer until you're ready for some more. Tortellini's done, so let's move on to our garlic thyme sauce. First, set a large pot of salted water onto the stove for the pasta. While that's heating up, set a large pan onto the stove at medium-high. Mince up some garlic and a shallot. Add some vegan butter to the stove and wait for it to completely melt and start to bubble. Then add the garlic and shallot in and sauté for 1 to 2 minutes. Add in some salt, pepper, and some fresh thyme leaves. Pour in a cup of vegetable broth and bring it to a simmer. Continue on the heat for about 5 minutes, which is how long our tortellini will take to boil. After that 5 minutes, veggie broth should have reduced and our tortellini is floating to the top. Now save about a half cup of that pasta water before straining out the tortellini. Add the tortellini to the pan along with that pasta water. Add in 1 more tablespoon of vegan butter and bring the heat down to low. Stir the contents often for 5 to 10 minutes until our sauce has reduced and thickened and has begun to coat the pasta. Notice how you can see the pan as you drag the spoon across. That's how you know this sauce is saucy. Now grab a bowl and a few fresh sprigs of thyme and let's plate this dish. Nothing's better than a fresh pasta with a fresh sauce. Our ricotta filling does a great job of being there and being present, but not overpowering our thyme and our garlic. It's really good. It's just perfect together. Well, that does it for today. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. Like and subscribe so you don't miss any future Saucy Cat dishes. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Saucy Cat. Add in 1 more tablespoon of vegan butter.
Vegan butter.